Let me guess, you have an exam coming up and your revision has been pretty non-existent, and it's just caught up with you that you're going to have to do that exam very soon, and quite frankly, you're shitting yourself. Well, my friend, I'm here to help with that. Now, the best plan obviously would be for you to get in a time machine, go back 6 months and start revising properly, but we can't do that. That's why you're here watching me now. But I'm going to tell you what I would do if I was you. Firstly, prioritise. Look at all the exams you have coming up and focus on the ones that you feel weakest in. What areas of the exam coming up scare you the most? Which topics, when you go to that page in the textbook, make you feel the most uncomfortable? Although it may be uncomfortable, this is where you have to focus your revision cramming, because this is where you will spend time most effectively. Going over things you already know is absolutely useless. So tackle the difficult stuff and you'll get the best bang for your buck in terms of your revision cramming. Secondly, do not just reread the information. Many people, when they're stressed and have an exam coming up they're not really prepared for, they'll take the content and they will just read and read and read, hoping that it is absorbed into their brain. But that's not how it works. As I've said in previous videos, the brain learns through retrieving information out of it, not through information being put back in. Use this knowledge of how the brain learns to your advantage. Do not just reread the words. What I want you to do is I want you to take a page of the textbook or a topic in the exam coming up, read the information, then cover that information up and try and repeat it onto a piece of paper. Get the key points down and see what you can remember. This is so much more effective than rereading it multiple times. You can look back on the content and see what you missed and add that to the work that you did. But this process means that you are retrieving the information out of your brain and you're seeing which parts didn't go in the first time. Obviously, this takes longer than just reading the information, but it is the most effective because actually reading it doesn't do anything in terms of getting it to stick in your memory. Tackle the hardest topics first and get to the point where you can summarize the key points of information without looking at the information itself. Next, now, say you've got a couple of weeks or a couple of days coming up before the exams that you're worrying about. You have to give yourself constant reminders about the things you have to know for that exam. Whether it's maths and physics equations, whether it's key bits of facts for biology and chemistry, or whether it's quotes from the book that you've been studying in English. These key pieces of information are the fundamentals of your exam answers, so you have to remind yourself of them all of the time. So this might sound odd, but what I want you to do is I want you to write down information for the exam coming up on small bits of paper or a flashcard, and I want you to stick them in places around your house that you go frequently. This could be next to the loo, the bathroom mirror, the dining table, by your bed, by your TV, all of these things. These places are where you are a lot of the time. You will go to these places frequently throughout the day and you can look at that bit of information and you're constantly reminding yourself of it. This means while you're going about your normal day, that repetition of the information you have to know is happening. You want to cram revision in because you haven't got much time before that exam. But there's a couple of things that are really important that you maintain and you do not sacrifice. Firstly, it's your sleep. Do not sacrifice your sleep. If you're in a situation where you could cram an extra hour of revision in and get a poor night's sleep, do not do that. Pick the good sleep because your ability to retrieve information out your brain and actually apply yourself in that exam where you've slept awfully is pretty non-existent. So do not sacrifice your sleep. That's incredibly important. If you're not revised for any of the exams coming up, prioritize maths and English because you need that for a lot of jobs, and the ones that you'd like to do for further study. The rest of the subjects, cramming revision in for those is pretty useless at the point you're in. Also, do not overwork yourself, because if you get burnt out when it actually comes to exam day, you don't even want to pick up a pen or look at a piece of information. I would say 4 hours a day of good revision is a maximum. And when I say a maximum, I mean a maximum. So aim for that. If you're doing 2 good hours, that is brilliant. And when I say good hours, I don't mean, doing a bit of work and then texting your mate and then going downstairs for a shit and then being there for 20 minutes scrolling through Instagram. No, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about focus, in the zone. You want to do as much work to the point where you can still recover for the next day because you've got a limited amount of time before this exam, so you want to squeeze as much efficiency out of your days as you can. If you'd like to see a video where you can learn how to study efficiently in the least amount of time, that will be here. But with that said, I'm grateful for you getting to this point in the video and I wish you the best of luck in your exams coming up. But with all that said, I will see you next time. But until then, you know what to do. Be an anomaly.